Trail Tales WA acknowledges the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation as the traditional custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded. We recognise their deep and continuing connection to land, waters, sky and community. We pay our respects to the elders past and present, and we extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening today. We are grateful to share stories from the trails on this beautiful country where we walk, reflect and connect with nature. From here on Whadjuk Noongar land and wherever you're tuning in, we honour the enduring strength, culture and care of First Nations people across Australia. Welcome to Trail Tales WA, the podcast where we break down barriers and share the stories we hear on the trails. I'm your host, Tracy Jones, and I'm thrilled to be sharing this next journey with you. In this powerful episode of Trail Tales WA, we sit down with Fran, a legally blind hiker with an incredible story of courage, resilience and connection to nature. Together, we open up an important conversation around hidden disabilities and what it means to navigate the world and the trails in ways many of us might never consider. Fran shares how hiking became both a challenge and a gift, a place where obstacles are real, but so too are the rewards of determination, independence, and the support of community. She reflects on the ways nature provides freedom, grounding, and a sense of equality that can sometimes be missing in everyday life. This episode is about shifting perspectives, uncovering the strength in vulnerability, and recognizing the invisible barriers people face, while celebrating the boundless spirit that pushes through them. So let's get into it. Hey Fran, thanks so much for joining us today to share your story and shine a light on hidden disabilities.
Good afternoon, Tracy. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, and you came along to our Wanderfest hike in Mundaring today at Lake Leschenaultia. How did you find that?
It was absolutely fantastic. It was a really nice, just kind of meander around the lake. How beautiful it was. We saw some beautiful flowers as well.
The wildflowers are just popping with colour everywhere at the moment. It's really beautiful.
And had some beautiful food.
Oh my gosh, the food. So good.
The food was excellent.
Yeah, 100%. So let's kick off. I'd love to do a bit of a deep dive into your story. If you could just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and who is Fran?
Who is Fran? That's the million-dollar question. I moved to Australia about 20 years ago with my then husband. And yeah, we originally moved to Queensland and then came to Perth in about 2007 when I had my first daughter. But I've always been a really keen hiker. When I was in high school, we did something called the Duke of Edinburgh Awards. Mm-hmm. Don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they have them here?
They do, yeah. We ran a Duke of Ed hike last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know this.
There you go.
So I did my bronze and silver when I was at high school. So that kind of got me into hiking a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm really fortunate. Where I'm from in Somerset, we've got two national parks. So one being the Quantock Hills and the other one being Exmoor National Park. Mm-hmm. So I did a lot of my Duke of Edinburgh hikes around Exmoor National Park, which if you've ever been, I highly recommend. It's the most beautiful place in the world. Wow. It's absolutely incredible. It has my heart. Aww. So, so I was really into hiking from quite a young age. And then I came here and discovered hiking in Perth.
Amazing. Awesome. And you live with a vision impairment, which is often considered a hidden disability. So how would you say this vision impairment affects your experience both in everyday life and also when you're out on the trails?
Yeah, so I was born with what's called optic nerve damage. So it's kind of the messages that are sent from the eyes to the brain, hence why it can't be corrected with glasses. It's a little bit worse in my left eye than my right. We didn't actually discover it until I was probably quite young, maybe 7 or 8.
Wow.
Just randomly one day we were at the opticians and the opticians asked me to read the old school letters you have on the wall, and I couldn't read them. So then they were doing some investigation, and over the years it came to the conclusion that I had this optic nerve damage, and it didn't really affect me when I was younger because I didn't realise it was any difference. But as I got older in high school, it was quite problematic.
Yeah.
With not being able to, see class boards and that kind of thing, and not being able to drive. I can't drive because of my vision, which has been a bit of an issue throughout my life.
Absolutely.
It can be a challenge at times, but I've always been really supported by, people around me. So that's been good. My everyday life, it does affect it in some ways, but so like for work example, I work in an office environment. I have quite big screens. I have a large print keyboard, and not being able to drive is probably one of the biggest things that affects my life. But obviously I've got my partner who helps me, and so everyday life can be a bit of a challenge at times, but I'm so used to it. I don't really know what life is like without a vision impairment. On the trails, it can be quite interesting at times, but like my vision, I do have a fair bit of vision. When we look at blindness, we have to look at it as a scale. Like most things in life, it's on a bit of a spectrum. So I would be probably more of the mild end of the legally blind section.
Yep.
I have quite a bit of vision. I can see colours. So out on the track, I can see what's going on. However, my life is quite blurry. So I guess someone who had vision, if they short-sightedness, if they take their glasses off and their eyes are quite blurry.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I live with. So that's the best way I can explain my vision to people. It's quite blurry. So out on the track is quite interesting. At the minute, I'm doing hike fit with you guys. Yeah. Which we do quite dark. It's obviously
night time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got very bright head torches, but the wonderful guides, like on Thursday, I had Judy, who was very, very helpful to me. She was walking in front of me and told me where every bump and stone and rock and bit of twig was, and that is absolutely amazing because it's really helpful to me that someone has got my back when I'm walking.
Yeah. Amazing. That's so good. And I guess that's part of that community of hikers and people around you just, lending a hand and being supportive.
100%. That's exactly it. It's a really lovely community that Off the Beaten Track offers, particularly with the hike fits as well, that we are a wonderful community. And when I started Hike Fit a few weeks ago, I actually told the group, we were introducing ourselves, and I told the group that, I'm legally blind. If anyone sees anything, can you please let me know that I might trip over? And everyone was very helpful, and it is a beautiful community to be a part of.
Yeah, we definitely do attract some pretty amazing people, which
certainly
we're very lucky. And you did Hikeability last year for a few hikes with us as well. How did you find that?
Oh, brilliant. I did Hikeability with Sarah. I think I did 1 or 2 with you as well, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, brilliant. It's really, I really like Hikeability because it does give you the opportunity to have a one-on-one hike with full attention on oneself, so you can kind of navigate the path with me, and it gives you resilience, I guess, to be able to do that hike and have the ability to do the hike when you don't think you can do it.
Yeah.
Hike, although I've always hiked with other people. It's not something I want to do on my own necessarily. Yeah, so Hikeability allows me to get out on the track and really enjoy the outdoors and feel independent and gain some independence, really. It's nice to be able to kind of, although I'm with a guide, it's nice to be able to kind of do an activity that I never thought I'd be able to do, really, particularly with, vision impairment. It's great to be out in the open and have you guys kind of walk with me, and it's been fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome. And I think building independence is something that's important to anyone and everyone, but having a disability even more so, it's probably very powerful for you.
Yeah, it's really powerful. It's a really powerful thing to be able to find something that you can actually do and enjoy. I think that hiking is one of those things that I can actually do. There's lots of things that I can't do for various reasons of my vision, but hiking is one that I can do. Although, like I said earlier, I can't really do it on my own, but I don't find that hiking for me wouldn't be that enjoyable on my own. I'd want to do it with a community anyway. So yeah, doing the Hikeability and being part of Off the Beaten Track has given me the ability to get out there and be able to do hard things because, being visually impaired, there's lots of things that are hard things, and hiking is one of them, but I can do them. I realise that I can do hiking even with a vision impairment.
And you do it very, very well.
Thank you.
I think the first time I met you was on an overnight hike to Mount Cook.
It was an overnight hike to Mount Cook, yes.
Many years ago now.
Yeah, that was one of the first hikes I did with you guys, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very cool. It was really hard. That was a tough hike. I remember when we were walking back, it would just rain constantly.
It did. We were very, very wet by the time we got back to our cars, but I think our hearts were very full.
Our hearts were full. That was a really good hike.
And do sometimes people underestimate or overlook the challenge that you face because your disability isn't visible?
100%. If I had a quid for every time someone went to me, do you need glasses? I'd be a very, very rich woman.
Yeah.
I would be. It's only the other day I had a Uber driver say to me, do you need glasses? I was looking at my phone and I was like, actually, I'm legally blind and I have this all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard having a hidden disability and having people looking at you a bit funny because, I've got my phone in front of my face because I have to, I can't see it otherwise. you kind of want a sign sometimes that says, I'm legally blind.
Yeah, not stupid.
I'm not stupid. I don't need glasses.
Can you share a time when you had to advocate for yourself or ask for help while hiking?
Oh, well, Thursday's Hike Fit is a perfect example.
Yeah.
I hadn't met Judy before. She was new to she'd Taylor and Charlie.
Yep.
And we were having a walk. We were walking along and exchanging conversations. And I'd mentioned to her that I was legally blind. And she said, "Oh, is there any way I can help you?" And I was like, "Yes, you can. Once it starts getting dark, I will need you to walk in front of me and call out any kind of hazards that are coming along the way." And she was absolutely brilliant at it. So I think those kind of things I have to kind of be confident in telling people what I need from them, because otherwise people make assumptions.
Yeah.
Either I don't need any help because I'm on this hike, I'm sure I can see, everything's fine, so I have to advocate for myself and go tell them exactly what I want. But it's taken me a long time to be able to do that. It's hard at times to be able to ask people for help.
Yeah.
It's not something that I easily did when I was a lot younger.
And I guess different scenarios make it easier and harder for you to ask for help. So maybe not in general public situations, it might be harder, but in those communities that you've built trust in, maybe obviously the home, the workplace, and then groups like ours, it's probably a lot easier for you to now ask for help.
100% is a lot easier for me to ask for help. And particularly because I guess so many people are more aware these days of hidden disabilities. I think that there's a conscious effort in the world these days of people who have got hidden disabilities, autism or deafness or blindness, that people are a little bit more aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you talk to people nowadays, they're like, "Oh yeah, what can I do to help?" Whereas, when growing up in the 90s, disability wasn't really a thing.
Well, disability was almost like a taboo word. Like it was, "Oh no, you've got a disability. Like, there's something wrong with you." Whereas now
Absolutely.
In my world, definitely, it's a very acceptable thing, and we embrace it all, and we, open our arms to people with disabilities, because why should they have a different experience than someone that doesn't have a disability?
I completely agree, and I think that is brilliant now that we've moved on in a world that, absolutely everything should be accessible to everybody. Mm-hmm. There's not one thing that shouldn't be not accessible to anybody, because I think there's potential for everybody to have a go at everything,
I think in today's world where we live, there's no excuse for businesses or organisations not to be able to think outside the box a little bit and adapt their product or their service or their offering to be able to cater for that wider audience.
I completely agree.
Just make the world a more inclusive place.
I completely agree, absolutely, and it should be. I think there's still room for improvement. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people out there trying to do the right thing, but there's still a lot of people that need to. There's still room for improvement, absolutely. I think with you guys doing the hikeability is just fantastic. It means that, people who have got hidden disabilities or any disability can have potential to go out and enjoy, not just hiking if they're not really into hiking, but just going out and enjoying nature.
Yeah.
Because we know that's so good for our mental health. We know that's a good way to connect with people. So I think that is a really good thing that you guys doing with the hikeability. And I think that there are, places out there that they should be, expanding their thought process on how to help people with disability.
I 100% agree with you. And I think a lot of the issue sometimes lies with some organisations is that they see the word accessible and they automatically think wheelchair friendly, whereas accessibility isn't just wheelchair friendly. They're, like we're discussing today, hidden disabilities is so broad and huge, and there's actually only a small portion of people that require that wheelchair friendly access, where you can actually change your product or service so many different ways to be able to actually make your business more accessible.
I completely agree. Perth Museum's a really good example. But if you go to Perth Museum, when they recently did it all up, they've done a wonderful job, don't get me wrong. But when you go in there, if you've got low vision, it's really hard to see the exhibitions.
Perfect.
Because it's really low light and all their information's written on quite small cards.
Right.
I believe that they actually had a consultation with visibility before they went live to kind of develop certain things, but it has not been. The Perth Museum was not consulted enough with people with varying disabilities, because it's really horrible place if you've got visual impairment to go, because it's so dimly lit, and everything it's written so smallly. I have to go in with my phone that's on like a magnifying on my phone, and so I can read the information on the cards, because it's just very poorly written.
And they have no audio option or anything like that
I don't
either?
believe there's an audio option.
Wow.
There might be. I haven't actually looked at that, but
Okay.
Yeah, it's a perfect example.
Just something that was overlooked.
Absolutely, 100%. But you're right in saying, a lot of places, when they hear disability or accessibility, they instantly think, we just put a wheelchair ramp in or something like that.
And tick the box.
Absolutely.
Accessibility is not a tick box.
No, it's certainly not a tick box.
No.
And it's not one size fits all.
No, absolutely not. And I think that's why you've just got to have that flexibility in what you do.
Yeah.
So tell me, let's go back to hiking a little bit. How has hiking impacted your life physically, emotionally and socially?
Physically, it's getting me out on track and making me fit with my cardio. Emotionally, it's something about being on track, being out in nature that fills my heart with joy. I think that it reminds me of being a kid again, back when I was at high school, hiking on
Takes you home.
Takes me home. It's very similar. Some parts of Western Australia are very similar to parts of the UK, actually.
I guess the bracken ferns probably remind you of the UK.
A little bit, yeah, absolutely. So I think that my connection with being out in nature is really good. It's also really good for my mental health. I'm someone who suffers from anxiety and depression. I have done all my life. And I know being out on track fills my heart, and it does make me feel better. I think just having, this morning, for example, just having a wander around the lake, it just makes me feel so much better within myself. Just to have that kind of fresh air and freedom and realise, wow, we do live in a beautiful place.
Yeah, the power of green space, right?
Absolutely.
And socially, how has hiking impacted your life socially?
I mean, making friends. For example, meeting you guys, being part of your lives now, and making some friends, making Debs and Sarah. I've made some wonderful friendships within the hiking community.
The family.
The family, yeah. Off the beaten track family.
The fam. And what does being part of the hiking community mean to you?
It means friendship, community, and having allies on your side. I don't think, there's no judgment when you go out hiking with your hiking community. There's no judgment there.
No.
And I really like that. I think that is fantastic. Whether you have a disability, you know, wherever you're from, whatever your direction in life is, there's never any judgment, and that's what I really like.
100%. And I think that's just all part of our values as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And we attract like-minded people, which is important.
100%.
So, what advice would you give to someone living with a hidden disability who's nervous about stepping out onto the trails?
I think just give it a try. I think you'd be surprised about, if you've got the right support with you, how you can actually manage to do it. Obviously, you know, there's certain people with certain levels of vision, it probably isn't for them. I'm not suggesting that, you know, everyone does it, but I think that if you've got a level of vision, I think that actually getting out in nature, being involved in a community group like Off the Beaten Track, and knowing that there's going to be support with you 100% every step of the way, it's worth a go.
100%.
Yeah, it really is.
Life-changing, you might say.
It absolutely absolutely life-changing. And I know we joke about that, but actually that's a really interesting point, that it can be life-changing, because people don't realise their abilities. And we should be trying hard things. We should be trying things to test us. I have to do hard things all the time, and you know, I think that we're too comfortable in, you know, being at home sitting on the sofa, that we're too scared probably to go and try something hard or new or something like that, particularly when someone's got a disability.
Yeah.
But I think if you just open your heart a little bit and reach out, we can, you know, you can be part of a community that can support you to be able to walk along the track.
100%. I completely agree with you. So what's one message that you would like our listeners to take away about hidden disabilities and the outdoors?
That you can do it. The hidden disabilities, it doesn't matter what you've got, you can go and do it. Get out on the track, be brave, be bold and say yes to doing hard things.
Yes, the reward is so good, isn't it?
The reward is so good, and you will be supported. You know, have a look at doing hikeability because it is so rewarding, and I think you're going to love it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Fran.
No worries.
Do you have anything else to add?
I don't.
Okay. Fran, thank you so much for sharing your story with us and your take on hidden disabilities. I've really loved this chat with you this afternoon. Your story is definitely a powerful reminder that nature is for everybody. If you're listening and feeling inspired, check out OTBT's range of hiking tours on our website or find yourself a trail on trailswa.com.au and let nature soothe your soul too. Be sure to follow Trail Tales WA for more stories just like Fran's, and we'll be back soon with another trail tale. But until then, keep walking, keep talking, and remember, accessibility isn't an add-on, it's a right.